Welcome everyone. This is the Memento Amori crew. I'm Captain Adriana, and this is
I'm Chef Rachel.
nice to meet y'all.
Hi guys. So, how did you guys get into chartering down here in the Virgin Islands?
Well, I'm from Puerto Rico originally, and my dad's an avid sailor. And since I was a little kid, I've been out on the water. A couple years back, he convinced me to go sailing with him, and after that, I've not left the water. It's been about 5 years since then, and I'm excited to just be pursuing my dad's dreams and be part of the industry.
Great. How about you, Rachel?
I'm from Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and I got into sailing about a few years ago. I always was staring at them as a kid on vacation, and I got the opportunity to start working on a day boat and just recently moved my way up to working term chartering. So I got to mix my restaurant experience with my sailing experience, and it's how this all came to be.
Awesome. So, speaking of charters, what would you say your favorite charter memory would be, Adriana?
I feel one of the most recent ones would be a couple charters ago when one of our guests was having a couple glasses of wine up in our lounge area upstairs, and a whole meteor shower just went about in the sky, and he was just so in awe with it that it just made the whole trip for him.
How about you, Rachel? You got a story?
For me, I'd have to say it is a rare occurrence, but we did get to see baby dolphins being born. And you know the baby dolphins being born when all of the adult dolphins huddle together to protect the mother who is delivering her calf. And that was just an amazing individual experience that just we got to show guests that, and they were just in awe. Never seen
It
anything
was
like
pretty
that.
amazing.
Awesome. So, when it's not charter season in the summer, what would you say your off-season hobbies are?
For me, I sail on and off charter. That is just one of the passions in life that is long-standing and enjoy it in and out of the industry. I would also say I love to travel, going like to foreign countries or just going back home to Puerto Rico and enjoying time with my family.
For me, I'd have to say in the off season, I really enjoy putting time into my fitness, paying attention to a lot of different holistic ingredients and practicing mocktails and different things that I can pull out while we're out here. So I like to do that as well as travel or get on a boat delivery in the off season. That's always a pleasure.
Great. So, what would you say your best vacation was, and what made it unique?
My favorite vacation, I would say, is always when I go sailing with my dad. It's just the two of us, and we'll go down island. Either it's from here to BVI or go all the way to Grenada and just get to hop on and different types of beaches and just I really enjoy island life on off season, so it's pretty
Right.
awesome.
For me, I'd have to say recently I did just get to do a boat delivery that crossed the Atlantic. So that was a super cool experience, sailing the whole coast of Spain and then being offshore for that long was just really special.
Great. So, bringing it back to the Virgin Islands, what would you say your favorite area is to bring guests to on charter?
There's a couple different ones that come to mind, but I feel like one of the most noteworthy ones is going to be either the baths. I know it's an over-mentioned place, but it's like to this day, I still feel like a little kid every time I go and walk through the rocks and feel like I'm a mermaid in there. Also, I'd say for New Year's Eve, Trellis Bay, the fireworks from there are awesome. You know, there's so many other places I can mention, but you can always come and explore them yourself.
For me, I'd have to say on the south side of the island in St. John, there is this place called Salt Pond. As long as the conditions are good, that is a really special place because the coral is so bright and vibrant, and it is just secluded in nature, and that's a really special one to take guests to.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So, on charter, do you guys have any special or unique skills you'd like to do with the guests? Anything that makes you guys stand out?
I love to snorkel, so everywhere I go, I love to get in with guests and just kind of show them some of this little odd spaces and nooks and cranny that you can find, like an octopus or like a little cave you can go through or stuff like that. I just love doing that with a guest. I also make a pretty mean drink.
She's a good bartender. I would say something special about our crew specifically is we are one of two, that we are just in sync with a lot of things. We always provide a great experience. Like if I can't do one thing, Adriana's always there to pick up on the other. Like she does the cocktails, I do the mocktails. For me personally, any specific like skills that I bring, I do some really awesome Caribbean braids with like hair. I grew up with sisters, so that's something I always love to bring to the crew if they're interested, or to the guests if they're interested. And as well as music, we are very musically inclined. We always like to have different vibes going. You know, we try to match it to the guests, but we're pretty good on that one.
And I
Yeah.
hear you play a mean steel drum as well.
So glad you asked, Phil. I do play a mean steel drum, and it's just gonna have to be if you're gonna have to come out and book a charter with us to hear it. But if you're celebrating a birthday or anything like that, we got you covered.
So Rachel, now let's talk about some of your food. What would you say your favorite dish or dishes are to make, and why do guests love them?
I have a few different favorite dishes for each course of the day. For breakfast, one of my specialties is homemade crepes, the homemade shells, and all the different fruits. That we usually do a create your own, so you can choose whichever kind of flavors you want in there. For lunch, we do a really good taco bar, so I make these surf and turf styled shrimp and steak tacos. For dinner, I do a really good chicken piccata based on who is our guest. We do a lot of good fishes and a good tuna. For dessert, passion fruit creme brulee, we really like to incorporate a lot of the flavors of the Caribbean. So whatever we see fresh in the store, I always try to grab that if it looks really good and incorporate it into any of the meals.
Great. And what would you say influences your cooking style?
A lot of my cooking style comes from having lived in a few different places in my life. I have always been drawn to some of my favorite restaurants to where when I move, I can't always go out and get that food. So it has really pushed me to learn how to create some of those flavors. That's a fun game we like to play, is to go somewhere and really guess what is in this, what makes this dish. So we always try to play that game and then ask our server if we were accurate or not. That's a really fun one. So I would say recreating a lot of dishes from my favorite restaurants, as well as doing boat deliveries, since sailing is such a worldly experience. You get people from all over, and I usually tend to find that we have people of different cultures on board, so I get to learn a lot of different cooking foods and modalities just from the people that I'm with.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we can't wait to have you guys on board Memento Amori. Bye, guys.
Bye, see you soon.